Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be back with another Young Indian, part of the Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Pratibha Chatterjee. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Pratibha.
Thank you, sir. So before I begin, I would quickly like to mention what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm going to talk about uncertainties, risks, hobbies and interests, my work, my subject economics, of course, and a little bit here and there about what life has thrown at me. So first of all, thank you so much, sir, for taking this initiative of talking to young minds, because I have been thinking this for a very long time, that it is very difficult for us to relate with people who are really, big shots, because it's very difficult to pinpoint that one starting point where they, shot off. And so it is important for us to talk to people with whose journey we can relate, because when we look at them, we think that, oh, this is magical. It is motivational, of course, but we cannot really understand where they are coming from. So thank you so much for calling me here. Uh, I'm doing masters in economics right now from Northeastern Hill University, which is a central university in Shillong, Meghalaya. And before that, I had done a bachelor's in economics only, and from my hometown, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. So that is where I hail from. Although I'm Bengali, but I'm from Kanpur, so I'll talk about it later. The thing is, how did I come to Nehu, Shillong, when I'm from UP? This is a question that I'm getting a lot these days. So the thing is, when I was preparing for CVT last year, CVT JAM, ISI, all of those papers, and the application forms came out, I was filling it up. I saw this word Nehu in it when it showed all the colleges that are offering masters in economics. And is this a typo? Is this a mistake? So I filled it up. I said, no, I must be wrong. And I filled it up and I thought that, okay, afterwards I'll find out about it. So due to some problems, I did not perform as well as I thought I would in my exam. And the topmost colleges were out of my league at that time. And then I was like, okay, what next? After giving exam, right after giving exams, I knew that, okay, I performed very well, but because of negative marking, I will lose a lot of marks. So then Nehu came into my mind again, and I figured out that, oh, there is a central university in Shillong, and I didn't even know about it. This is my naivety that I didn't know about such a good place, university and place. So the thing is that, as you must be knowing, I don't know from which part exactly you are, but in social studies and all, we just get to hear that, okay, there are seven sisters in the country. These are the names. Some few names they will teach that, okay, these are the tribal groups there. And whenever you read about tribal groups, you read, okay, there is Khasi, there is Garo, but we don't go into the depth. And I was always curious that, okay, why is this part of the country left out of the discussion? And for that matter, there was another state, I think Andhra Pradesh, which I know the least about. The Northeast and that state is something I didn't know about. And when I came to UG and I started reading nonfiction, because I realized that reading or studying economics without studying the world otherwise is useless, because it's interconnected. If you don't know the other things, there is no meaning here. And that is when Northeast came into my reading list. I read Margin Lands, and I bought that book Assamese. I'm still reading it, not complete. It's completely about Assam and its culture. And I met a few people also somehow who were from Northeast. So Northeast kept coming into my life, and I think a lot of my friends jokingly say that you manifested it into your life. And I was like, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. So I went through. I want to talk about how I selected name. Like, okay, I could have taken a drop, and I was going to, and give the exams next year, perform well, and maybe go ahead. But one, I didn't do that. Like, I dropped the idea of doing it, or was not in favor of it very much, because I know that life is uncertain. What will happen next year is not known. Whether you will perform better, we think that if I take a drop here, and this year I've performed this much, so next year I'll perform this much. That is not how it works, unfortunately. It can go below this as well. So I wanted to get settled this year and then think about the next year later on. So I checked out the profiles of the professors, and that was really good over here. There is good research going on here. Second, which I saw, was what type of food I'm getting here. So fortunately, the type of food that I eat is what I get here. And health is important, because if you fall sick, no, there is no point where you are and what you're doing. You won't be able to do it. Third thing I saw, of course, my curiosity for Northeast. I was like, I always wanted to live here. And being a student in a state, there is no better way to explore a place than being student over there. And I think third or fourth point, it was a major point that Shillong is one of the safest cities for women. Of course, there crimes do happen here, but the place is really good. So if I talk about the city, people are very hardworking here, sir, because of the region, and life is difficult here. You have to work a bit harder to survive here, and they do it. They have so many hobbies, there in general you will find children singing and making baskets out of bamboo, and things out of bamboo and other things. And it really inspires you, how they lead their life. They do so many things that after doing those things, their work, their academics is not the only thing that they derive their worth from, or not at all. They are satisfied with their life, and work is just another thing that they do, which I learned when I came here. And it is being told a lot these days that do not derive your worth from your studies or what marks you're getting. But you cannot really learn these things until you see somebody doing it. And I saw it happening here, and it was really good and new experience for me. And as for the university, the one thing that I must mention is my professors. They are amazing. When I sit in the classroom, I sit always prefer to sit on the front bench, and I see my professors, and I see that there's a glow in their eyes. They love the topics that they are teaching, and that is that motivates me to go back home, open the books, and read. And I think that would suffice about the professors. The children here, the students are really helpful, I would say. They're very caring. It's been 2 months that I've been away from home, and I don't feel much difference. Like, it's like home only, it's my second home. And the third thing that I would like to mention about this place is the amazing library. I mean, every book that I heard of, all like even subtopics, I wanted to read about China. So there was a whole shelf about only China's economy. So that really is very interesting for me. And right now I'm sitting in my classroom only, so you can see that part. So I'll go back to my UG and speak a little bit about why I thought that masters is important. So I got very sure in class 10th, like by the time I was giving my 10th board exams, that I want to go ahead in economics, because I started reading nonfiction actually in class 8, and I stumbled upon a book called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, and it's related to behavioral economics, right? And that got me interested because I also used to read a lot of psychology books and topics at that time. So a combination of economics and psychology was something that really got me interested. Now I don't read about behavioral economics anymore, even though it's a very flourished field and it's only growing. But that is what initially got me interested into the subject. And then there was this teacher who was teaching very well, and I saw that in class 10 one day. I was like, what is this subject that she is teaching? I want to be in her classroom. And I found out that it's economics. Then I started paying more attention to my economics classes in class 10, which by the way is very disappointing that they have such a small syllabus. They just introduce factors of production, credit, banking, and all of that. Just give you a little tiny bit idea about what is economics, and then you have to decide whether you want to take it up or not.
Yeah.
So what I did, I was confused. So I took up PCM plus economics, because PCM would keep my options open just in case if I do not want to go ahead in economics, I can go ahead in any other field. So I took that up, and it worked out well for me. So I knew that okay, I want to take up economics. And but in class 12th, I felt terribly sick, and I performed very badly in my exams, board exams, and due and all of those popular colleges were completely out of my question, out of my reach. And the thing is, the mistake I did over there was Hyderabad University was still taking students by CVT at that time. And I could have appeared for that paper that year or the next year, and I could have gone to that place. But because it was not as famous or not as known to me, at least, as due was, I did not even consider any other university, which is why I said that when I was preparing for master's entrance exams, I decided that I will apply to each and every institute out there that is providing masters. So that mistake was there. Then I took a drop year after 12th. because I was sick and I wanted to prepare a little bit more before I got into college. Uh, and next year, I gave my 12th in 2020. So next year in 2021, COVID was there and the exams got cancelled. So everything that I had prepared for or planned for just went down the drain. And I was so shocked the day I got the news that the exams have been cancelled that I was like, what is this happening? And that is when my attention was brought to the fact that being determined is not enough in life. Not recognizing the fact that there will be uncertainties and there will be major roadblocks in the plans that you have made is something that will hit you very hard whenever it does. And that is what happened. So I still had options, but then I was like, okay, life is trying to teach me something. It is not letting me go out of Kanpur, which is, as young students, we always want to go out of our hometown. That's one major goal. Ki I want to go out and study. But I think there is certain things that you learn when you stay back. And I decided, okay, fine. Whatever college, whatever course I'm getting here, that I will take up. So coincidentally, in Kanpur University, which is the state university of in our city, they started a BA honors course that year itself due to NEP. And I was the first batch of it. We were 7 students. By the end, we were just 5. And we had direct interaction with our professors. So one of my professors there, we had 4 professors, and the one who started the course, under whom we studied the first year, her and another professor, they taught us the basics. And I was so lucky to be in that classroom. I mean, having one-to-one interaction with your professor gives you a different type of treatment that is not possible in other universities. And even those teachers, they were taking other classes in engineering departments, etc., where there were a number of students. So they used to say that you people are lucky. Never think that the strength of the classroom is less, so you are missing out, and all of those things. So I learned 3 things in my UG which I want to mention. And one of them was that my teacher said that before going to the advanced stuff, the stuff that looks cool from far away, make sure that you're very good at your basics. That will, you might feel bored today that why am I repeating this again and again? But one day you will know that it was the right thing to do. And having given my master's entrance exam, and now I'm sitting in the master's classroom, I can tell you that it is the most important thing that a teacher can teach you. Obviously, you would know, but I'm saying to younger students that are there. And the second thing that I learned from one of my classmates is that do not go back to your home after the classes are over. You are supposed to stay back in the classroom, in the library, to explore the campus, the life, and most importantly, your subject. If you go back home, there is something, like, sir, you must have experienced it yourself that coming back from office, if you go back home and you sit, it's very difficult to push yourself back into work. So once you're out of home in the working clothes and everything, you've had your lunch, you've had your tea, there is certain thing about the flow. You can keep doing hard work. Otherwise, if you go back home, it will take a lot of time to put yourself back into that motion again. So don't go back home. Stay back in the classroom. And that is also something one of our professors used to emphasize. And I didn't do it for the longest of time. I did it when I finally had to do it, when I could not find the right environment in my house, and I had to come back. And a lot of people find it very difficult to study in the library because there are lots of people. But to those, I want to say that once you start sitting more, in the beginning, you won't be able to study. In the beginning, you just have to challenge yourself that, okay, for 3 days, I'm just going to sit here. I just have to pass this much amount of time in the library. After a point of time, that noise becomes a white noise. It's just a background noise that is happening, and your focus will be on the studies because in the library, you cannot do anything else because everybody either studies or pretends to study. Either way, using a phone is not very normalized in a library. So you will get back to the book. And once you are in, there is no way out. You will get interested in your subject and you will find it in like workable, you will figure it out. Or the other thing that will happen is you will figure out that this subject is not for me, which is also a very important thing. And the third thing that I realized was you need to be at peace to achieve anything in your life. And I was not. I was a very troubled kid. I came out of school as a very troubled kid, in college also, because I tried to bring in a lot of ideas that were not supported. Sometimes you are in a spaces where people do not understand what you want or do not believe in what you believe in. And that was becoming detrimental to my growth. So that is when I realized that, okay, that pushed me, by third year, I was done with that place. I was like, okay, I began with the fact that, okay, I will surrender to life's requests or life's force and I will do my bachelor's from Kanpur State. But now was the time to get out. And that helped me, that pushed me. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe I would have performed even worse, even though I was a determined person. But, there has to be an external force to change your face and all of that. And that happened to me. And then the Nehu thing happened on 15th August this year. My list came out, and I got no time to think whether I want to come here or not. Okay, I had applied for it, I had paid the fees, but I was still a bit confused that should I take a drop or should I go for masters? They gave me 3 days to come here physically for the registration, and the classes were to begin 7 days after that. So as soon as the list came out, my family and we all got uh, busy in booking the tickets, packing, and I just came here. And one night I was so scared that I am going 1200 kilometers away from my home, and it is not easy to reach Shillong. Wherever you are, you have to get to Guwahati. Then from there, you have to book a taxi and come here to Shillong, or take a flight to Shillong. There are no direct flights to Shillong either. And thankfully, my parents agreed for this place. My sister has also been to Northeast, so she knew that people are really good here and the lifestyle is really helpful. And when I came here, this is such a peaceful place, sir. Shillong is completely situated in a, like there are forests and there are birds and animals are still visible here. Like, at a lot of places, the are not there. And so it's not like there. It's not like that. 4:30 in the morning, it's already, there's already a little bit of light and sunrise happens at 5 a.m. So it's actually, the environment is actually conducive. You can do something over here. And the determination with which I went to Kanpur University was actually something that I needed here, and which I had to convince myself, okay, I have to bring back that energy, because I was getting a bit irritated by the fact that why am I not getting things that I wanted? The plans that I made for myself, why are they not working out? And when I came here and finally, like even in Kanpur University, I noticed that life taught me certain skills that I would not have learned otherwise, like being in your hometown and studying there from teachers who have strong personalities. It teaches you a certain type of confidence which has space for changes. You're not a rigid person, you know that flexibility is an important thing. And it also gives you that confidence that yes, if I have studied this theory, I'm right. My teacher used to tell me that if you are in a very competitive environment, sometimes you might start questioning yourself that, am I good enough? Am I good enough? That is something I did not face in my state university. I was appreciated, I was promoted, motivated to do better. Uh, but yes, like I mentioned, what I did not find there was that other equally enthusiastic people, I would say, who with whom I might have done something. So I came here and then I told regarding why I decided to do masters. When I was studying bachelor, when I was doing my bachelor's, and before that, I always wanted to like come finish my bachelor's, get a job, and get going. But that didn't happen because in state university there is not much scope for placement. You can do it on your own, but I when I started studying economics, and by my second year, I realized that even in bachelor's, you are just getting introduced to the topics. You are not really understanding anything. When I came here and I was studying growth and development economics, that is when I started understanding that, oh, this theory is being applied like this in the real economy. And in masters, finally, teachers started, joining the dots. They started telling us that now you will understand why this is happening. And only today, Masar summarized one of the chapters where he said, okay, so let's come back to the central problems of the economy, how to produce, what to produce, and for whom to produce. So these are the answers. And I was like, okay, 6 years of studying economics, and now I'm finding the answers to the central problem. So the point is that if you really want to know a topic, I think now I can confidently say that you have to do a master's in it, at least a master's in it. Bachelor's is not enough. So the fact that I wanted to do economics, I wanted to study it, If I had gone to a good university, maybe I would have gotten a job and gone away. So life said, okay, you want this? This is not where you're getting it. You're getting it here, and I will send you over here. So submitting to life courses has helped me, I would say, and I think things have always turned out um, in the right way for me. So now I've started trusting my instincts a little bit more, and that's why I just went for Shillong. And I think now I can come to economics, and I think one of the things that I see now is that I should have read more books when I was in UG. UG is a bit light, especially first year is light, very light syllabus wise and otherwise, because we are supposed to work hard on our own. And I think I was going through multiple personal things, so I was more busy over there, which has given me personal traits that are helpful, traits in my personal life that are helping me now. But professionally, I think I lagged there. I think, sorry, academically, not professionally, same thing, but yeah. I should have read more books. Definitely, there is no doubt about that. Like one book of macro, one book of micro is just not enough. First of all, we are advised to not go for Indian authors if we really want the flavor of the tops. And I don't want to debate here about whether Indian author or foreign author. But the thing is that whichever books you are following, Indian or foreign, one book is not enough. I should have gone for more. And the second thing that I did, major mistake that I did was that because my 12th didn't go well and I was a very driven student, I came first in my class 10th. I scored very well in most of the subjects. So I was very angry with myself and I said, okay, no co-curricular activities, now only focus on your subject, which did help me get good core, good knowledge about the topic. But I came so far away from things I love doing other than economics. Like I used to write in school, I used to read a lot of books, I used to speak, as in I used to do anchoring, I used to go for elocutions, etc., which I stopped doing, and it made me an unhappy person. That's it. Which is why I said that you need to be happy, you need to be peaceful to learn something. By the third year, I was really struggling to focus on my subjects. When I was actually getting good at it, it became very difficult for me to focus because I was so away from things that I love doing. So when I came here, I made a change and I said, okay, I will balance academics with co-curricular activities, even though masters is not really the right place to do this. But since I have deprived myself so much of it, so I'll do it now. So I would like to show a little small video. I guess is that okay, sir? So you would have to allow me, sir. I can't hear you.
Let me put you on pause. We will set it up
Okay.
and then we will come back from it after the pause. Okay. So let's first
Okay,
set it up. Okay. We are on pause. How Pratibha has set up the video that she's going to show us. Tell us about it, Pratibha. What are you going to show us?
so when I came here, my classmates were really kind and sweet, and they said that you must represent the department in the general freshers, which is conducted by the student union at Nehu. And one guy and one girl are supposed to go and represent their department. It's like at the end you get either if you win you get a Mr. Freshers or Miss Freshers. That is it. So I represented my department and I had to give an introduction. And I was very excited that how will it go because there were so many people and I was going up at the mic after such a long time. So this is how it went. I'll show a little bit of it.
Please play.
Namaste! My name is Pratibha Chatterjee and I'm here to represent my department, Economics. I'm Kanpur State, that is, I hail from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. And today,
So this is it.
Okay,
And
all right. Thank you. It's good
yeah,
to
it's
see
a
the
bit
good to see the enthusiasm and the excitement. We are freshers. We are coming together. I'm representing my department. It's really, and we at this age you feel envious that there are still
yeah.
excitement and energy and all, which sort of has dissipated. But you see that and you feel, oh my God, I wish I was that age. Anyway, let's continue.
Thank you, sir. This video was very blurry. It was made by one of my friends. So I'll just share it. So this is a bit of it, and it felt really good. I was like, why did I stop doing it?
Yeah.
And there are multiple other hobbies that I had when I was in school. Like I used to do jewelry. I used to make jewelries, and I used to do art. And in fact, jewelry making transformed into graphic designing when I came to college. It's very interesting how I used to when I was doing jewelry making, you have to know color coordinations and which shapes go with which other shapes. And that helped me in graphic designing. When I started doing it, I was like, how so good at it? It cannot be so, right? And then I tracked down and I realized that, oh, that part of mine has helped me here. And in fact, I was known as a very talkative kid when I was and people used to look at it in a bad way and still do. Some people still do, but I've learned to ignore them. And it was one of my teachers in class third who came to me and she said, you know what? In fact, class second, sorry, not even third. She came to me and she said, there's a recitation competition and students from 1 to 5th are supposed to be taken. And it is usually a norm to take a class 5th student, but I'm going to take you and you are going to perform. And her confidence, her trust in me, her motivation prompted me. And it was a bit unbelievable for me, but I won that competition. And from there started my speaking journey, and she would put me on for every anchoring in the school and all debates, everything. So my school supported me a lot, and that teacher's enthusiasm and interest in me changed my trait of talkativeness into communication skills today. And people often tell me that, how are you so comfortable talking to the professor? How are you so comfortable speaking on the stage? And I'm like, I always remember my teacher. She helped me, she transformed it. And then I always as I grew up, I continued being the youngest person doing this anchoring and the youngest person doing that in my school, of course, in my school. And when it comes to speaking, I would like to share two things that I learned from doing it often, again and again. That those who find it difficult to communicate, just know that the other person is as scared to meet you as you are to them. Because, caring, every unfamiliar thing is scary. So just go for it. Go with love and and be polite. If you have love in your heart, it will open a lot of doors that you wouldn't have, imagined. Like North people are often seen in a weird way in Northeast because of the way they come and behave here, often end up scaring the Northeast people. But I've seen that when you go along with, like literally, truly, you have love and respect in your heart, they will accept you. And that has happened to me everywhere that I've gone. I've always found good people, caring people, and the same people have been different to other people. And when I look back and I saw, okay, this was the difference because I ended up not caring for someone. And the second thing is regarding communication skills with students faces, they don't ask questions in class. They think, what if my question is stupid? And I would tell you that recently what my professor said, that you're more stupid if you don't ask that question. So yeah, you should go ahead. I mean, in one of the classrooms, I do not want to mention where, when I started asking questions, kids used to laugh at me, or when I would answer the questions that teachers would give. And a lot of times my answers were wrong. And they used to laugh that, okay, she is, interacting so much. Why is it? Why is she so enthusiastic? But I think you should not listen to such people. They are also scared and they just, when somebody is embarrassed, they hide it by laughing. So let them laugh, it's okay. And that's it, I guess. Yes. So yes, hobbies. And when it comes to hobbies, there are two more things. I think I used to get bored a lot because in my family everybody was elder to me. I had nobody of my age, like elder as in my parents, and I have 40 years of age gap. And with my siblings also, I have 10 plus years of age gap. So I was the youngest in my family, and I used to get so bored. And my parents didn't send me to school until I was of age 6. They said that we did it with the other kids and it does not work out. Children get tired of school very early, so we will not send you to school unless you are really hungry to go. And it worked out. I never got bored of school. I never really was like, hey, oh, I don't want to go to school. And those 6 years of my life in the beginning, I remember I used to get so bored. And that got me into art. That got me into writing. I wrote a very short story when I was 4 to 5 years old, I guess. and I started writing from there. And it has only improved over the years. I'm not very good. I've not published anywhere, but I think it has helped me in my exams, in expressing myself, and it has opened a lot of doors. So getting bored is important because it will push you to do something new. So these days we are very scared of getting bored. Automatically, this device comes into our hand, which is a very dangerous device. And I know it's a very unpopular opinion that which I'm saying that phone is a very dangerous device, but it is. It is because it is bringing too much information to you, and it is taking away a lot of information from you and giving it to hands that do not should not have those information. So we have to be wary of it. And that's it, I guess. My hobbies, my interests, they have developed me into the person that I'm today. And in short, I would like to say that life has put me on the right track. It has given me what I really wanted, but I was misguided. I thought that, okay, the conventional paths are going to get me there, but they would never have gotten me where I am.
All right.
And
Thank you so much, Pratibha. It's a very, very personal story that you have told us. But I think it represents a reality of India, that there are a lot of opportunities and there are also a lot of problems and issues that come up in your life. Wasn't that
yes, sir.
much of the case for the older generation. And you have handled them. You have handled them. You know, it took
And I
some,
would like to mention that I have always gotten very good people, especially in my teachers, in my family also, in friends also. I mean, many weird people also came along, but there were many good people because of whom I'm here. And
yeah,
of course, I had my privileges. Even though we are people who came from the East Bengal, my grandfather shifted from there to Kanpur when partition happened, and that made our family lose everything. Like there was absolutely no generational wealth, but the mind that my grandfather had, that worked for all of us, and he settled us down. So yeah, he is also a very big motivation, my grandparents, because they lost everything, they lost their country, and they still made us survive. So I feel very motivated by them, that if they could do it, then I can certainly do it. My problems are much smaller. So
yeah.
yes.
Well, on that point, I used to run a website called indiaofthepast.org.
Okay.
It is
Okay,
on
okay, sir.
pause for quite some time because I'm now far too busy with other things. Its purpose was to have text of memories that are at least 50 years old. And many of those stories are pre-independence. You know, the people who were writing were already quite old and they had memories of pre-independence. And I have
Right,
several
right.
stories on it of the
Okay.
move. I mean, there are a lot of stories now. Everybody talks of partition as of Punjab. What they don't realize is that people also came from East Bengal and Sindh, both. The Sindhis
Yeah,
moved en masse
yeah,
from Sindh to
yeah,
India, and nobody even knows about it, what they did, because the Sindhis, like your grandfather, came with their own sense of how to manage, and within 20 years, they were all doing well. So nobody would
yeah,
think, oh my God, where did you come from? But the
yeah.
Sindhis, there's still a place in Jaipur where I grew up called Sindhi Colony. So they were put up
Yes,
there,
sir.
right? But
Yes, sir.
they just went on and made their way in life. And one of the most prominent persons in India who came from that part is Mr. Advani. He was 18 years old when he moved, but it didn't stop him from becoming the uh, deputy PM, right? And big
Yeah,
leader,
that he is
whatever.
today.
So uh, I would be, I think we are about to revive that, not revive, to restart
Yes, sir.
that India of the past, and maybe we'll have video on it and all. So I'm very interested in getting the stories of Bengal. There's
Yes,
a
sir.
website, you might look it up, which is very well run out of the US, 1947 archive.
Okay, okay.
It is run by people from India and Pakistan, and it has stories, video of people from both sides, how I went from India to Pakistan and how I came from Pakistan to India
Pakistan to
and
India.
Bengal also. So that's very interesting. And in a way, that part I gave up because they do such a good job.
Oh.
They have a very good, they've done a remarkable job of it. Nobody in Bengal talks much about it because they didn't
It
really.
is very traumatic, sir. It is very traumatic. My grandmother used to live in a way that it never happened, as if it never happened. Most of the
Yeah,
things that I
no,
heard was from my uncle.
I know, read the stories, there are at least a few stories of
Yes, yes, sir, I
Bengal
read.
side. Okay, leave that aside. The thing is that they all came with human capital. As economists, we understand they had no physical capital, but they had human capital. And in India, fortunately, or as perhaps it would be the case today, they were not discriminated against in any way.
Mhm.
Okay, so you are from East Bengal. Why are you in Kanpur? This is our land. No, it wasn't like that. It was okay, fine. You are here now. Do what you have to do. And
Majorly, yes, but you do feel misplaced, as in
no, you
you have a
feel,
different culture at
but
home.
yeah,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
but the people are not discriminating
And
against you.
thankful to this country that accepted such a huge population from all the sides, like
Right, that's what I'm
Pakistan,
saying.
Sindh,
That
and Bengal.
yes,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
that's the big deal. That of course, you are displaced. You have no money left. You had a good life there, and that is gone. You are in a strange place. You don't even know the language. You don't know the culture,
Yeah.
anything. So you have to adapt. But they're not coming against you in any way.
No.
No.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, there were already Bengalis in Kanpur and Agra. I have a story of a Bengali family, very prominent in Agra, teaching in St. John's College there. So they were already there. Actually, the Bengalis were already everywhere because they were more educated than others. Certainly, they were there. You couldn't stop them. Anyway, that's good that you saw that. And
And because we grew up hearing these stories about partition and how the country helped us, no, it also embedded a certain sense of patriotism in, I think, all of us. And I have always grown up thinking that I want to do something for my nation, like really in there. And which is why I still am working on that. I want to do something for the educational field of India.
okay.
And
All right.
because I think that it's not up to the mark right now. Like we have come a long way. Like you should have like some sort of sensitivity for your country, which has gone through so much turmoil. Because we just look at, okay, 75 years have happened since independence, and we have done only this much. But what about the amount of time that we were abused? Like all of that. Of course, there are many factors in this topic which will be left untouched because it would be a very long conversation. But yes, I think that I feel a certain responsibility on myself to do something for the nation.
Okay.
And I'm still figuring out on my own what I want to do ahead in economics. But that remains the central idea of
Okay. All right.
what I
Great.
want to do ahead.
Okay. Anything else you want to add here?
Maybe for the juniors that please be curious about life. We get very settled very soon because that is the norm. And I think don't do that. If you are curious, you will also look young. You will get to know people. You will get to like explore. Yeah. I think being curious is very important. If I weren't curious, I wouldn't have ended up here. And believe me, it's very beautiful, this whole place.
Okay.
And yes,
All
that's
right.
it. And
Okay,
thank you
good.
so much.
All right, good. Let's end it here. I want to
Yes,
talk
sir.
to you offline. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Till then, bye everybody.